I started painting the chapels. But because I don't like contemporary art, by contemporary art I hope you understand what I mean. I'm not saying what is being done nowadays, no. I'm talking about that old formula that is used by the majority of people, that they are still copying, Marcel Duchamp. This is what I call the contemporary art. It's a style. I'm not talking about contemporary artists, because I've seen amazing paintings being done nowadays, but they don't follow the rules of the church of contemporary art. So contemporary art became very boring, very predictable. That's why I don't like it. I've decided to do a series of paintings where I wanted to create a post-contemporary style, a new way of painting. I've told Joaquim I was going to do that, and then I stressed for the next 2-3 months because I didn't know what to do. It was a big promise. But my brain was more and more pushing me towards making paintings without pigment. Every morning I started writing the morning pages. Write everything that comes to your head, no censorship. As soon as you wake up, okay? Because the unconscious is still active. You will be writing down everything that comes to your head. And then don't read those pages for at least 1 or 2 months until you forget what was written. I promise you that perhaps the best ideas of your life are going to be inside those pages, and you will not remember having those ideas. When I reread my morning pages, the whole technique of Platigleam was described there. You can see the opening of my exhibition at the Batalha Monastery. It was my second most successful exhibition. It was amazing. During COVID, but I had 126,000 people coming to the exhibition. Immediately after COVID, this is like a miracle. Because people were not going to museums, they are not going to exhibitions, they still aren't. I think I'm lying. Recently, museums finally bounced back to pre-COVID numbers. But for about 2 years, museums were empty, which I find quite shocking. Because football matches were not empty. You know, everyone is afraid of COVID, but then people are not afraid of going to a football match. Shopping centers are not empty. This is what shocks me. But culture had the worst numbers in recorded history of the 20th and 21st century. I find this shocking. So, what you see on the wall are the first Platigleam paintings I've produced. And what you see horizontally on the right-hand side were the new paintings that were being produced on a very large scale. The ones you see on the wall are the little ones. That's why I chose this photograph. These were the studies. This is how one of my paintings looks like. Not very interesting. During the day, or if there is a lot of light in the room. There is no pigment. There is only the use of different substances that refract the light, but technically they're not pigments. And then, when you bring the light in front of your eyes, it can be your phone, you know, the torch of the phone. It can be a candle. It's much more beautiful with fire. So in Dhaka, in Bangladesh, I did a short exhibition, a pop-up, where everybody was holding a candle, and it's much more beautiful. But because of security reasons, I don't ask the public to hold fire. This is how it looks like with natural light. On the next image, you can see how it looks like with light in front of your eyes. You can see again how another painting looks like with normal light. This one was painted outside, so it's the street view. I was working always at night, roughly between 10 p.m. and 2 or 3 a.m. And then I would have to interrupt the painting process because with the morning mist, with the dew, the whole painting would turn black. This is a very strange technique, you know. I've never experienced such a weird technique in my life. When the air is quite humid, the painting turns totally black. This is something I'm hoping to demonstrate later in the other room. For the last 2 years, all my paintings photograph very badly. Even this image, it was the best that I could get away with, but it still doesn't really show what I see in front of my eyes when I look at the real painting. These paintings are just not photogenic, and we have to accept that. Now, how did I work? I used a headgear. I will not put it on because of my lovely Nepali hat, which I adore. But essentially, I was working like this, with the light at night and painting directly on the canvas. And yes, it is canvas. Many people ask me if it's a special kind of paper or something. No, I used polyester canvas, that I can reveal. I also like the sheen and the surface because it's very, not only it's very glossy like silk, but it's also very smooth. And then painting became a pleasure on that surface. This painting had to be left a little bit rough because it was the most difficult painting I've painted in my life. I'll explain why. This was horrible, actually. I had to lie down on the floor, put the easel above me, and put the canvas facing downwardly towards me. It was crazy. So this contraption was giving me headaches and back pain. So as I was painting directly from the architecture, I had to quit after a few hours of struggle. I admire Michelangelo. Michelangelo painted for 4 years, like that. I don't know how they did it, you know, those people. Well, he was forced, maybe that's why.